It was one of those humid Miami nights, where the air feels thick enough to chew, the kind that makes your shirt stick to your back before you've even stepped out of the car. Detective Carlos Ramirez remembers every detail of August 14th, 2023. Like it happened yesterday. He was 38, 10 years on the force. 5 of those partnered with Jax, his 6-year-old German Shepherd K. 9. Jax wasn't just a dog to Carlos. He was family. The kind of partner who knew your mood before you did, who could read a room faster than any human they've been tracking. A mid-level dealer named Rico Valdez. For weeks, intel said Valdez was moving product through an old warehouse district off the MacArthur Causeway. Small-time stuff mostly, but enough fentanyl-laced pills to kill half the block if it hit the streets. The tip came in. Anonymous big shipment arriving around 1 a.m. SWAT was on standby, but Carlos and Jax were primary entry team. Low profile, the sergeant said. In and out, confirmed the load, then we roll heavy. Carlos gave Jax the usual pre-op scratch behind the ears. Easy night, buddy, he muttered, though they both knew better. Jax's tail gave one slow wag. Calm, focused, ready. They rolled up in an unmarked black Tahoe parked 2 blocks away. The team moved on foot through the shadows of rusted shipping containers and chain-link fences. Streetlights flickered, casting long, nervous pools of yellow. They breached the side door at 1:17 a.m. Inside smelled like motor oil, mildew, and that sharp chemical bite of fresh-cut coke. Jax's nose went up immediately, ears forward. Carlos felt the slight tension in the leash. Alert, not panicked, they cleared the first room. Empty pallets, broken crates. Second room, voices low, Spanish tense. Carlos signaled hold. Jax froze, body low. Then it happened fast. Valdez's crew wasn't expecting company, but they were armed. 2 guys in hoodies stepped out from behind a stack of tires, pistols already up. Carlos shouted, police, hands. Standard protocol. But the first shot came anyway. Pop, not at him, at the ceiling, maybe to scare, maybe nerves. The second shot was aimed. Carlos pivoted, raising his Glock, but Jax moved first. The dog launched like a missile, not barking, not growling, just pure silent drive. He closed the gap in 2 strides and slammed into the shooter's chest, jaws clamping on the forearm. The gun clattered. The man screamed, staggering back. Carlos fired once, center mass on the second guy who was bringing his weapon around. The man dropped, but the first shooter recovered faster than anyone expected. With Jax still locked on his arm, he yanked a backup piece from his waistband, a small .380, and swung it toward Carlos's head. That's when Jax did the thing Carlos still can't talk about without his voice cracking. The dog released. The arm spun his body and threw himself between Carlos and the muzzle. The shot went off point blank. Jax yelped once, sharp, surprised, and crumpled. Carlos felt hot blood spray across his cheek. Time slowed. He saw the dog's body jerk, saw the shooter's eyes widen in shock at what he'd just done. Carlos didn't hesitate. 2 rounds. The shooter went down. Silence after that, just ringing ears and Jax's shallow breathing. Carlos dropped to his knees. Jax, stay with me. Hands shaking, he pressed palms over the wound, right side behind the shoulder, through and through. Blood soaked his sleeves in seconds. Jax's eyes found his, wide, confused but still trusting. That look broke something in Carlos. He radioed frantically, officer down, K9, down, shots fired, need medevac now. The team swarmed and someone took over compression. Carlos cradled Jax's head, whispering nonsense in Spanish, old lullabies his mom used to sing, promises he'd buy him all the steaks he wanted. Jax's tail thumped once weakly against the concrete. Paramedics arrived in under 8 minutes. Felt like 8 years. They loaded Jax onto a backboard like he was human. Carlos rode in the ambulance holding the dog's paw the whole way to Jackson Memorial. The vet trauma team was waiting. Special arrangement for working dog surgery. Took 4 hours. Bullet missed the lung by millimeters, nicked an artery, shattered part of the scapula. They lost him twice on the table. Twice they brought him back. Carlos waited in the hallway, still in blood-soaked gear, staring at the linoleum. His wife Maria arrived at 4 a.m. eyes red, carrying coffee he didn't touch. She just sat beside him, hand on his knee. No words needed. Jax came through barely. 3 days later, Carlos was allowed In recovery, the big dog lay on a padded cot cone around, his neck shaved patch taped over. Stitches when Carlos stepped in Jax's. Tail started thumping, slow at first then. Stronger those brown eyes lit up. Like nothing had changed, Carlos broke. Then tears came hard and quiet. He buried his face in Jax's neck first, smelling antiseptic and that familiar dog smell underneath. You stupid hero, he whispered, you dumb brave boy. Jax licked his cheek. Once weak but deliberate recovery was slow. Jax had to relearn how to walk on that leg. Physical therapy every day, pool swims, balance balls, treats for every step. Carlos took leave, stayed home with him. Maria cooked extra chicken. The kids, Sophia, 11, and Mateo, 8, drew get well cards taped all over the living room. Jax wore them like medals. Months passed. Jax never went back to full duty. The department retired him with honors, but he never stopped being Carlos's partner. They walk the neighborhood now, slow, careful steps. Kids run up to pet him. Carlos tells the story when asked, voice steady until the part where Jax took the bullet, then it cracks. Every time. Looking back, Carlos says the raid wasn't just about drugs, it was about the moment a 90-pound dog decided his human was worth dying for. No hesitation, no second thought, just instinct and love in its purest, rawest form. Jax still sleeps at the foot of the bed. Carlos still wakes up, sometimes heart pounding, reaching to make sure he's there, and every time a wet nose pushes into his hand, that's loyalty. That's what they mean when they say a dog is man's best friend. If stories like this remind you why these animals matter, why we owe them everything, hit that like button, drop a comment with your own dog story, and subscribe for more real-life K9 moments that show the heart behind the badge. Thanks for watching.